Heintz Boy Garage is the show to watch. If you don't like me, you can suck.
What is going on, guys? We are back here today at the Heintz Boy Garage. You may have just watched my video that I uploaded about restarting this channel and working on this truck. I have a lot of parts that have arrived, so let me show you some stuff, okay? Okay, it doesn't look like I have very many parts because I put them all away or they're sitting elsewhere that aren't really related to the truck specifically. So, what we got here is a Schroeder sway bar. It's a torsion bar that I'm going to use as a sway bar. So as you can see, it's got splines on the end, which means that we have arms that are back here. If they just went straight, like this is mocked up as, this is 15 inches from center to end, 30 inches overall, just like this torsion bar. If they were straight, this one would be okay. I mean, as you can see, this angle would be a little excessive. But as you can see over here, 30 inches is right on top of my master cylinder. So as it sits, I will probably have to rotate this straight up. I will definitely have to relocate my proportioning valve again. But if I have it here at 30 inches, and as you can see, back there I cut it, I'm going to cut it and then angle it outwards and then make it straight so it goes right about here, and with these rotated down, I should just barely clear these bleed screws and it should sit right perfect to meet that hole right there. So I used a calculator online that was specifically for torsion bars on dirt cars. So I used the dimensions of this, which is like 1 1/8" OD and 0.975 ID, over the span of 30 inches active length. And then beyond that, you have your arm length. So the distance between where your end link is going to meet and your actual torsion bar. So for all of my stuff that I have set up, if I have 4 inches from the center of the torsion bar to my first bolt hole, that's like 1,600 foot-pounds. The second one will be at 5 inches, and that one's about 1,000, which almost matches up to the GK Tech sway bar that I used to have. So that'll be a good match for a starting point. If I want to go stiffer, I can go to 4, which is 1,600, or I can go to 6, which is 700. So I'll have a little adjustability, and that way we can keep the Heintz boy happy. So this is kind of my idea here, is just move it out 2 inches. So I got my first 30-degree cut on there, waiting for these to cool down a little bit so I can touch them again, but I'll do another 30-degree on this one, and then I'll put a fat chamfer on these because these are inch solid aluminum, and then I'm gonna have a buddy TIG weld them all together. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let's cut some more shit. We are back. I was helping my dad quick with a little bit of wiring on his truck. I needed to fix the radio. The sub was not getting remote power, but we're good. So let's work on this. Okay. Got it cut. I think that's going to be wide enough. It's 33 edge to edge. I was kind of shooting for that ballpark, 33 to 34, but judging by this, 1.5 inches beyond 30 will clear. So let's maybe just go with that and get that welded together and see how she works. Today is a new day, but our goal is the same. I'm back. Last time I was here, I was doing this sway bar stuff, but over the weekend, I took a break and with all the guys and small crimes, went to Final Bout. Might sprinkle a few little clips in here. back here. I took my sway bar arms here to a buddy of mine that does all my aluminum welding because I don't have a TIG. He welded those up, and we're just running a test fit right now. So this is how it looks sitting in the engine bay. It's not perfectly centered, left to right, forward to back. It's just kind of sitting there to see if it would clear the hood, which it does kind of. I'll probably have to cut out some bracing in this area. But the biggest issue is coilover clearance. I mean, yeah, oh goddamn tripod going limp on me. This is obviously a little bit of an issue too, but I'm not as worried because I can rotate these around, and the booster has a little bit of adjustability because I moved it up and angled it. Because of my last setup, I had to have a little bit extra clearance, but now that I need clearance in the other direction, I should be able to move that. So this is our other issue. Coilover smacking the clutch master cylinder. I found an identical master cylinder to this that Willwood makes. It's a mini version, goes to about 3.5 inches to the fitting for the brake line. That would get us closer. It would at least be in line with the booster, so we wouldn't stick out past that. That's just gonna have to wait for now, because first I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to attach these guys to the tube front. This kind of gives you a good idea how much clearance there is. It's not a ton, but it's plenty. So I drew this up real quick. If I have 4 inches of travel at what I accounted for the ball joint. I didn't account for the ball joint being halfway through the wheel, but it's close enough to give me an idea. If I have 2 inches up, 2 inches down, I have 1 3/4 inch total travel. So I only need half of that as space between my hood and that arm. So these are my mounting points. I will have 4 inches from the center of this diameter, 5 inches and 6 inches. Those will be my adjustable points. And by the looks of it, it looks like we got 7/8 of an inch to spare. So I think we're good. What up? Another day here at the Heintz Boy Garage. The van is dead in a parking lot again, so I drove the old silver truck. Today we're bending tubes, and some more tubes, and some more tubes. Normally you wouldn't have to bend this many tubes, but I just can't find a design that I'm happy with, or I keep fucking up the tubes that I am trying to do. So this is what we got so far. We got 1, we got 2. This one is straight over here. This one over here is all sorts of curvy, has to go around the brake booster and all that. It barely clears, it's very tight. There you go. Both of them have tube clamps on the bottom, so I can unbolt those 2 bolts and my whole tube front can come off if I ever need it to. So obviously that's my goal right now, is to get these coilovers bolted up top so I can set it on the ground and see what happens. So my next step is I need this tube. This is just a quick fit. I haven't really made these notches fit perfect or anything, but I'm thinking about that. I got plenty of tire clearance underneath, and then I'll have to build a little plate in between, and it'll be kind of complex, but it's gonna be what I have to do. So it fits pretty good. Sits a little lower. This one is at 0 degrees or half a degree, pretty close to 0. This one is at 8.5. Gives it a nice little aggressive curve there. This notch needs to be cleaned up. Get rid of that gap. And this is what I have been judging by. Camera won't pick it up very well, but this number right here. So right now we're at 77.6-ish degrees of coilover angle backwards. So that is about 13 degrees of backwards angle on the coilover, which translates to caster. So I have this measurement here, which is off of my buddy Spencer's car. He has an S13 and he was running about 7 degrees of caster. So that translated to 11 degrees right here. This is where I measured his car. So judging by that, I went to 13 degrees so I can get a little more than 7 degrees of caster. And I also have the ability to come all the way forward to where this says 85. So I can have up to 13 degrees down here, which would translate to like 9 degrees or something like that of caster. And then forward all the way to 5 degrees at this angle, which is like pretty close to 0. But if I get the PBM limit break knuckles or the GK Tech V4 knuckles, it moves the spindle forward. So you need to run less caster because it has built-in caster into the knuckle itself. It steers more like a shopping cart, kind of. I'm not sure if I'll go with those, but as with everything else on this build, everything's extremely adjustable. So I have the option to run a stock type knuckle, stock location spindle, and run 9 degrees of caster, or 6, whatever I like. And then I also have the option, if I get a spindle relocated knuckle, I can run it all the way up towards the front for like 3 degrees or 4 degrees of caster, which is what they suggest. And with all of that, I should have room. I don't know if I showed you guys that. Mock-up master cylinder. It's shorter than my old one. That will fit right under there. And it also looks like my sway bar is going to fit too. It won't be this height, it'll be taller, but I just don't have it suspended by anything right now.
Warning, viewers are reaching maximum boredom. Please abort video. Warning.